Hey treasures, welcome to my channel. Okay, so I'm going to be adding on to the Preteen series, and this is going to be about the time that your girl got rejected. And I don't want to say this is the first rejection, but I'm pretty sure this is the first rejection because at this point in time, before I even went to this shitty school, it was like I always just got guys. Like, I don't even want to sound like cocky or anything like that, but it was just like I didn't really have a hard time with the guys I liked, like liking me, because one, I either didn't tell them, or two, they obviously liked me back. So yeah, but this is the time like I put myself out there and I got rejected hard. So then let's jump right on into it today. So this is the same exact school where I almost got jumped. The last school that was in my last story time where I had to choose between my brother and my friend. And I'm pretty sure I have another story at this school, but yeah, this school just sucked. For me anyways. So at this point in time, I'm well into the school year. I know who everybody is, and I have my friend group. At one time, I had a best friend, and for the sake of the story, we're going to call her... What do we call her? We're going to call her Holly. So Holly and I became best friends, and my time in elementary school was like every couple months I had new best friends, and it was just her turn to be my best friend. So her and I hung out with this different set of kids than when I was talking about in my last story time, and in the preteen series anyways. And so there was about a group of, I would say probably like 6 of us. 7 of us maybe, and there was 4 guys in that group. So I want to give them all names, but only one of them really matters. So we're gonna call him, oh god, Seth. So Seth was a part of this group, and Seth was not in my class, but one of the other guys in this group, my bandage looks so ugly, like just please ignore it. One of the other guys in this group was actually in my class, and so we're gonna give him a name too. His name is going to be Todd. So Todd was in my class, and Seth was Todd's best friend. Todd and I actually ended up dating like years and years later. That I think I told that story. Yeah, I told that story on my channel. I'll have it like right up here. You should definitely watch that video. So anyways, Todd is in my class, and Seth is his best friend, and Holly is not in my class. Holly and Seth, I think, were in the same class because I had just started to like hang out with this group at recess, and like I said, Holly kind of like brought me in on it, so I didn't really know the guys all that well because most of them were not in my class. Now, me and Todd didn't really like talk, but we didn't really not talk. Like, we spoke if we had to, and it was cool, but it wasn't like me and him were like friends or anything like that until I started hanging out with his group, and then him and I would talk more, but it wasn't anything like serious at the time. So I remember I started to like Seth, and it was like, at this point in time, it was like those times where you're hugging like everybody, you know what I'm saying? I barely talk at that point in time. Like, I'm really kind of introverted until I kind of learn the vibe of everybody, and then I can be extroverted. I started to notice that Seth was coming and like hugging me first, and then he'd be like leaving and he'd be hugging me last. And I'm pretty sure I've said this before in a previous video, but I don't really like people until I get an inkling that they like me back. And it's hard because it's like, you could be thinking something because when you like someone, you start romanticizing everything that they do. It seemed like he was liking me too. And so in my mind, he kind of persuaded me to like him because I didn't really look at him in that way. Like, he was fine. He wasn't the best looking, but because me and him would talk, and then he would joke around, and then it would be like, he's always kind of like touching me, and don't be dirty, but he was always like touching me. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I can see this going somewhere, like, you know. And of course, at this point in time, I have to mention it just because it's a part of the story, but I was the only girl that looked like me in the group. So Holly was kind of like me, but half not, and Seth was completely not like me. So if you know what I'm talking about, then you're old enough to watch the story. No, I'm kidding. But anyways, so I would see how, you know, Holly was with them, and like how whenever she wasn't around and stuff like that, like obviously I'm gonna hear the guys, because I started becoming really, really cool with them, talking about, oh yeah, like Holly's hot, or like, oh yeah, like Sarah's hot, and like hearing what their type was and everything like that, you know. So I'm thinking that there's not gonna be any like racism involved in this group, you know. Obviously they let me hang with them and they don't really treat me any differently, so I'm thinking that we're copacetic. I realized when I start liking Seth that I like him a lot, and I start bringing it forth to Holly, telling her that I like him. What should I do about it? And Holly was the one that was like, you know what? I think he likes you too. I can see it happening. I think you should tell him. And at this point in time, like, this was probably the first time I ever told anyone that I liked them without them telling me first. And I just don't put myself out there like that, because I was not fitting to get rejected. So I'm just thinking, and I'm sitting there like, girl, you're crazy. I'm not telling him shit. He can come talk to me. And she's being like, no, like, basically giving like the independent woman talk. Like, you are beautiful. Why wouldn't he like you? I see you guys together. You guys would be so cute together. He definitely likes you. Like, look, oh, he's watching you right now. Girl, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. You're a smart, beautiful, independent woman. You got this. And, you know, I started feeling myself after her chat, because I was like, you know what? She's hella right. I am smart. I am beautiful. You know, at that point in time, I had some work to do, but at that point in time, I had yet to be rejected, and I was hearing from like my entire life that I was like cute. So I thought I had it in the bag, to be perfectly honest with you. And so I remember there was no way in hell I was going to go up to him and be like, oh yeah, I'm interested in you, like, let's date. No. So I had Holly go up to him, and I remember it was one day after school, and we were hanging out with the guys, and then everyone was starting to say bye, because we were there after school, like probably for like an hour after like school was over. And so the guys started to say bye. And so Todd and Seth start walking down the field, and I'm just sitting there, and Holly gives me a look like, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you can go, make it sound good, don't make it sound desperate, like, please do your thing properly, you know. And so she starts walking down the field, and I would say they're probably about like, honestly, like 10 feet away. Like, they're so far away. And so I'm just there, like, you know, like, biting my nails. I'm just like, oh, fuck, like, I hope this goes well, because, like, especially, too, like, there's an audience, you know what I mean? Like, Todd's freaking there, and me and Todd are cool, but, like, we're not friends, and, like, Todd is definitely the type of person that would, like, tell people if I got rejected, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not someone that is empathetic at all, so I was like, this is gonna be a shit show if it goes badly. And so I remember they were talking for like a minute, and she didn't take him away like I would have hoped. And so then she started walking back to me or whatever, and I'm trying to like read her face, you know, and she's not really giving anything away, so I can't tell if it went bad, I can't tell if it went good, I can't tell anything. And so she comes to me and she goes, hey girl, and I'm looking at her, fucking spill it, bitch. And so she's just kind of like stalling, and I'm like, oh god, no, like my heart like drops into my stomach, and I'm just like, it's just like going like super, super fast, and I'm like, oh fuck, okay, give it to me. And she's like, he says like, you know, he thinks like you're nice and everything like that, but like he just doesn't like you like that. And I'm like, okay. And I remember I went home and I was like crying, and it wasn't even because like I wanted him that badly, like, because like I said, like I thought he liked me first. No love of my life type of shit going on here. But it was like the first time I was rejected. So I was like bawling, you know, like I was like, I had hoped and prayed that I wasn't gonna be that bitch that like had ever gotten rejected, you know, but I guess it's just like a life lesson. It doesn't even matter like how pretty or blah, 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 not that I was at this point in time, but everyone gets rejected. And it hurt so bad. And so I remember the next day, because God, it didn't happen on a weekend, I remember the next day, me and Todd, like I said, had the same class. So, and his desk was kind of like close to mine. And so he's like looking at me, and he's kind of like, you know, like he knows something, you know, which he does. And obviously like everyone in our group like knew that I kind of like liked him or whatever, because I would tell them, because like it was like the girls are all good friends, and then the guys, you know. And then our groups like conjoined together, but it was like they didn't know that I was going to like approach him about it, you know, but they didn't know that was gonna happen. So I didn't think it needed to be public knowledge. Obviously, like I got rejected, like who the fuck wants that to be public knowledge, you know? And so I remember like Todd's there looking at me, and he's like he's like I swear to God, that's what it sounded like. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you got rejected. And I'm just like, shut up now. Because obviously everyone's in class and like people are like talking to their friends and stuff like that. But like I don't want him to say it too loudly, because who the hell wants that to be public knowledge throughout the entire fucking school that they got rejected? Not me. So I was like, shut up. And he's just like, ha ha ha. Like, and he goes louder and he's like, you got rejected. You got rejected. And I'm like, I'll punch you in your freaking throat if you don't shut the hell up. Luckily then the teacher started class, and so he had to actually shut the fuck up. And I don't really know if the whole school ended up knowing. I don't think that happened, because I feel like everyone at the school was such a freaking asshole that they definitely would have came up to me and been like teasing me like he did. So, but I do know that it went through like our group, and at that point in time, like I stopped talking to Seth and I kind of like gave my distance, because I was just like, no, like you rejected me. You couldn't even like lie and just been like, oh, I don't want a girlfriend right now. Like, just lie, bitch. Like, it's not that hard. Just be like, I don't want a girlfriend right now, you know? But like I do suspect that it was like, because it like he would definitely be like touching me like a lot, you know? And yes, I did have big knockers at this point in my group and at this point in my age. Like, it was definitely one of the girls that were like bigger than most. But it was just like, I don't know, I felt, and he would give me like secret look, anyways, whatever. But I feel like my ethnicity definitely played a part in this. With it's like a couple decades old, so I'm gonna let it go. Have you ever been rejected? I'm pretty sure you have. Not that I wish that upon anybody, but it's just like one of those lessons in life, just like getting your heart broken is, you know? But yeah, let me know about your first rejection stories. Let me know about your last rejection. I have a couple. I actually told one of the times I did get rejected, but I feel like that story wasn't even me really being rejected. I don't know. But this was definitely the first time I was rejected, and it hurt, but I'm over it. And I will see you guys in the next video.
For you, know that you've been on my mind. Only you can get me right.